You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Astronaut Wives Club After Show. Tonight we are covering episode 9, The Dark Side,
so
with a little bang bang. You can dance, for sure. Hey guys, what's up? I'm your host, April Wissenhant. Tonight we got the whole team back again.
The whole team is here.
Whole crew here.
All of the team.
Yeah.
Not one missing person.
Wow, that's great.
Where can they find y'all on the social media?
Well, you can find me, Khalil Boo Boo, on Twitter and on Instagram at Khalil Boo Boo.
And you can find me at Sterling Cates.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at April Wissenhant. As always, you can find us all at AfterBuzz TV. Tweet us during the show. We love hearing what you have to say. Comment on YouTube, like, share, everything. We really love hearing your feedback about the show and our after show, and it's really what makes it great. So tonight is a little somber, not as somber as last week.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that song definitely didn't get us in the right
I know,
tone of the show.
It was definitely going down.
I know I wasn't here last
but
week. I just have to say this. I cried a lot in last week's episode.
So did Khalil.
I know, we could have been here for each other, lean on each other's shoulders. But I texted you guys. I was like, so that was really sad.
Yeah.
Right?
Little Betty the whole time.
I know. All right, let's get into this week. Sorry, I just had to mention that.
I guess.
Really quickly.
It's still like weighing on me though, because little Betty, I love her. Tonight we kind of opened up with the whole, they're talking about, 1968 is full of drama.
Yeah.
They vaguely, or like for a hot second, showed a thing saying how MLK was shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the middle of Vietnam and all the protests and everything.
Crazy time.
So I guess I have my answer, because I've been wondering are they going to keep on these topics of like race relations and whatever, but it seems like we're just gonna, they
just kind of blowing over it. They don't have that many episodes, you know, so
there's not much we can do about that. But so they're on Apollo 7 right now. Wally is going up in this one.
Jolly Wally.
Wally. We see more of, or they're in a scene where they're in, I guess, their living room, Joe and Wally, and he's talking about how, this time Dunk has asked them to put a camera in the capsule so that they can wave and do everything to all the people. And he's not really that happy about it, because he's like, it's just going to distract us. They want to do these special experiments or whatever.
Right.
And he really doesn't seem that excited about it. But he even said last week, we have to finish this for Gus. And so he tells Joe tonight that this is his last mission. After this, he's retiring from NASA.
Then he's out of the game.
Yeah. This is the
Which
first
Joe
one.
is happy about.
Yeah, and this is the first one we've seen, or Astronaut, that's willingly left. All the rest have either had to leave for sickness or whatever happened. Well,
I think Gus dying was really hard on him, especially, and everyone. So it probably changed their perspective a little bit.
Yeah, and they have the son who is 18, possibly going off to college, maybe wants to go to war, because he's watching coverage of all the Vietnam stuff, and
he's really passionate about it.
too.
Which is good. Hats off to him. I could not enlist. I'm not about that life.
No,
I'm not built.
Well, we need you here.
Yeah, we need you here discussing this show with us.
Exactly.
Need you on the ground at AfterBuzz TV.
But he seemed so. It kind of goes to show how, he's. I don't know if we ever got his name. We'll just call him Joe and Wally's son. He seemed
Marty.
Oh, Marty. All right.
Marty.
Well, Marty
Marty
seemed.
Mar.
Yeah. What up, Marty?
What up, Marty Mar?
Oh,
You going to war or you going to college? He seemed very uninformed about it. He just seemed like, okay, I want to go because this seems like the thing that I should be doing. Wally, we know the astronauts they all come from military backgrounds.
Yeah. And his grandfather.
Right. Yeah. So, but he just seemed kind of like, what? They want to end the war? And I mean, hindsight now, we know, ending the Vietnam War was probably a good thing whenever they did it. But, anyway.
Ending all war is a good thing.
Yeah, war is not the answer.
No.
Make love, guys.
Peace, love,
Not
and
war.
harmony.
Yeah. We sound like the people that were at that like cult that Alan when Louise was at.
That's where I live. Actually, I live at one of those places.
I live
Really?
there.
Yes.
There you go.
It's a place of love.
Yeah.
So throughout the episode, they go, Apollo 7 goes up. It's a complete success. They, I think, were in space for 10 days, orbiting the Earth. Still hadn't, gone to the moon yet. Still orbiting the Earth, but doing good things. Now we have windows. Now we have cameras. So that's cool.
So I was saying, it sucks to have to like go to space.
And not be able to see
you can't
space.
see anything. Like,
Right.
What's the point?
I know.
For all you know, you
Like
was
what if you were like on the ground the whole time
I know,
and
they
they like
just
told
shook
you
it.
you went up into space?
and they just,
They're like, I
just,
did
it's a bunch of them just shaking.
What was that noise? I don't know.
It could be anywhere.
Poor little Alan. Well, he might get his chance, though. You never know. But so, complete success. Mission is great. Wally retires. And then he has an interview in Denver. Joe is upset. I mean, this is kind of, I feel like they were just kind of finalizing their storyline tonight. Well, obviously, they moved to Denver. So he ends up taking the job. And, the final scene is them driving off to Denver.
Bye.
Betty gives
With
her a
the wood
special.
hole.
The fence
Yeah,
hole.
Fence
Betty gives
hole.
her the fence hole because they made these. Remember, they made the holes so the paparazzi couldn't get to them, so they could sneak through the little holes. And so Betty gave her a lovely little parting gift.
Yeah, that's
The
cute.
son's in the car, Marty. So Marty Marr's going to college, getting his education.
Trudy can
Education.
always shoot over there and go see him anyway.
Exactly.
She's got the jet. It's all
Yeah,
good.
that's right.
Everybody. So that's kind of
That one.
Joe and Wally wrapped up, I think.
Yeah.
Jolly
Well,
Wally.
I feel like for the majority of the season, we haven't really been that invested in them anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, they're
So
my.
I also wasn't like, I was just like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Retiring. Like,
Also, and Khalil, you will not be that interested in this comment, but Sirs, I
Here
know
we
you will.
ew.
Joe's makeup. Oh, just I get like it's the retro, but it's not even retro. It's just funky.
Why wouldn't I be interested in makeup?
Well, are you? Okay. Well, what do you have to say on that
Yeah, what's your
topic then?
comment?
I think she looked rather pale.
Yeah. What did you think? Like the yellow and orange eyeshadow was too much, or was it a throwback?
It was
TBT.
definitely a throwback.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
sound
good
really
to look-
educated on this.
Thank you. It's good to look back, and we can see our mistakes of the past. And now we
Yeah,
know
hindsight's
2015, we're
That's
not
right.
doing that anymore.
That's right.
Ladies, no orange and yellow eyeshadow.
No
Yeah.
orange
Oh, that's
and
not
yellow.
a thing that we should do? All
I
right,
think I
good.
just
Good
bought
to
some
know.
orange eyeshadow actually. But,
All right, that's
well.
great to know. Thank you.
So kind of speaking on, or not speaking on, we touched on him for a second. Alan is, he first American in space, awesome, super cool. Now he obviously has this
he didn't
disease.
have a window.
That's not, yeah. So this man went
So
to
yeah,
space.
he's like, I gotta go up again so I can at least see what I saw.
He went to space. He literally didn't see space. I guess I didn't think about that at the time because I'm like,
I didn't think about that either.
Sure, but how? It's almost like claustrophobic to me to even think
Yeah.
about that. Like you're going into
Yeah.
like shooting through the atmosphere and you can't see anything.
Yeah,
How do
I
you,
can't even
How
imagine.
do you navigate?
Just
Ooh.
technology, just telling you where you are.
Oh. Like
Kinda like
automatic
a,
parallel parkers?
Like a metal detector, like the sensor when you're at the beach.
Yeah, they're like
Beep,
the
beep,
they're like
beep.
the
Maybe
Google
there's
they're
something
like the Google
beeping.
cars that drive themselves.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Without the
I
windows.
imagine.
Without the windows.
now Alan has been running the program alongside Deke. But we've all said all season this isn't going to be enough for Alan.
He's too ambitious.
Yeah.
Which I
so
understand.
he came down with this nasty little disease, Luminaire's disease, and he has heard about a new study though that will, or it's surgery that could possibly, I guess, cure it. Because he wants, they're like right there on the cusp of going to the moon, especially after the success of Apollo 7.
Yeah.
So
The doctor says
he
they've
wants to do
done
it
a
first.
handful and there's been some success.
And
That seems like a really bad ratio.
when
We've
we-
done a handful of these surgeries and there's only been some success.
And when we look at Alan, I mean, obviously he doesn't feel fulfilled just
with his life.
Yeah.
Because there's
I think he'd
average
rather
and there's
risk it
spectacular.
anyway. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you do, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, you risk he seems fine, I guess, at this point. He's not, I mean, and maybe that's just for purposes of the show. I don't know what it was like in real life for him. But he, you know, we saw a couple of episodes where he was really, really affected.
Yeah.
But right now, he seems pretty okay. So maybe whatever medication he has is working for him.
Right.
So it just seems like, you know, it's either you live this life that, you know, maybe you could eventually find something else that fulfills you, or you get the surgery that could potentially kill you, or lose your hearing,
and
or
also
brain damage.
a lot of time has passed. Like, I keep forgetting that just because there's so few episodes.
They said it last week. It was how many years?
7 years, something like that.
Yeah, so he's been dealing with that for this long. So, I mean, I'm sure there's been, you know, medical advancements and that sort of stuff too.
After you, like, enlist in the Army, go to space, it's like, I don't know. I feel like you want one or the other. You either want to sit and do nothing, or you have to do something.
Just do more.
It's very true, but, you know, Louise clearly is not happy about this, and she even tells him, and I'm glad she said this to him, but she has made it very obvious that she's not okay with this. And they are on their way, I think, back from the doctor, and they get pulled over, or not, they don't get pulled over. A tire goes flat in this van of free lovers slash hippies pulls
Real
over.
Hippies, not
free
the
spirits, if
new
you will.
Yes,
that
free
we have
spirits.
today.
There you go. They pull over and help them. They take them to this place, or to their house, and they're all sitting down having dinner, and it kind of, you know, a conversation about, oh, I thought you were with him, but I thought you were with him. And
I don't know if you guys watch Mad Men, but it was very Mad Men season 7 when Roger's daughter runs away to one of those, and they like go get him. It was just like it was like the whole same set. It was kind of crazy.
There was also a thing from Desmond Harrington, who plays Alan. It was on Dexter, one of my all-time favorite shows, and there was a scene or a season where they did a little like free love.
So he's been there before.
Stuff. Yeah, so he's like, let me tell you about this free love.
Yeah.
And there was for anybody who watches the Wonder Years, there was his sister, Fred Savage. His TV name escapes me right now. But his sister in the show, she was all about that free love too.
So there you have it. And there you have it.
It was a big thing, I guess. I wasn't there.
So
I missed it.
So they have this conversation where the boyfriend is like, oh, well, I didn't think that this was going to happen. And the girlfriend's like, well, this is an adventure. You never know. So it starts to make Louise and Alan
It's not an adventure if you know where you're going.
If you know what's happening.
If you know what's going to happen.
If you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So they walk out.
I tried, okay? Sorry, I don't have any notes.
They walk out kind of in a little tizzy, and Louise says, or she's like, if you aren't happy with me, or why is this not enough? Why is spending more time with me and the kids and running the bank and running the entire space program, why is that not enough? And basically, if that's not enough, it's never going to be, and you're never going to be happy.
Right.
But Alan says, he had an awesome quote. I wrote it down. He says, there's a difference between an average life and an extraordinary life.
Bang, bang.
But that's also like, and I think Sterling said it while we watched it. It's like, wait, did you just call her basic?
Yeah, he really did.
Basically, like,
At
I like
first,
you,
I
but
thought that he meant like talking about that like free spirit lifestyle for a second, because you know he like has a past of like cheating on her.
Right.
So I was like, is he really talking about that right now?
Like,
but
he
then
is at home.
But then I realized it was about him going up in space again. But it definitely was an insult to her and the family they've made and the life they've created with each other, and it was just kind of like, that's all average compared to me going up in space.
Right.
I can see how it could be an insult, but I don't think that was his intention. Like,
I don't think so either.
It's like, I mean, I can see how it can be an insult, but maybe this is the guy in me. But it's like, like, okay, I did this. I want to do something else.
Well, when he comes back outside and he's like, you know who I am. Like, I can't change that.
Right.
And he's going to always want more.
Well, that's, I mean, we're all career-driven, ambitious people, so I agree with him in the sense of I can imagine myself definitely like, I want to like get married one day and have kids, but of course that is going to make me extremely happy. But like, just me personally, I'm not the type of person who could just be like, okay, I'm just going to chill now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, well, and the other side of it is you never want to, especially when you are career driven like that, you never want to believe there's something like physical or anything like that that limits you from doing what you want to do.
Right.
Like with his disease, or like if you have an injury or like whatever it is, like you never want to believe that there's something that you can't overcome.
Right.
And especially if there is this option for him to get the surgery, and he knows that there's this possibility of all those risks, but it could just fix it and I can go up to the moon and I can see things this time.
Exactly.
Especially when he was doing what he wanted to do. That's another thing. Like, it got taken away from him. So
Yeah,
it wasn't a choice like it was for Wally. It was like, this is something that he can't control.
right.
I get it.
And Alan,
I get it. All right, Alan. I'm with you. I'm with you.
he's that kind of guy that's just not going to give up unless he could do it. And Louise seems to come around after they have a cutie little scene in the barn where he's up and he has a swing
He shows her what it feels like to fly.
And to feel like a real woman again. He embraces her on the little swing and says, trust me, you're safe with me. And Louise is such a Debbie Downer in this episode. She's like, your condition.
Yeah.
We can't swing from this swing.
She's just worried about
I was just thinking, like, Louise, have you ever taken a risk in your life? Ever?
Right. She almost did with a reporter, but then she didn't.
Oh,
and
it's very controlled.
Took a risk with that hair, but
That's true.
Y'all, I really don't like how they did her hair at the last end of the season.
You do not.
It really bothers me.
It was better before.
Yes, it was.
I agree with you there.
But
she's just looking out for her man.
Yeah. So Louise, she ends up jumping from the rope swing, and she says, "Get the surgery. I want you to live the life that
fly
you
together."
want." And so hopefully he's gonna have the surgery.
I believe I can fly. That was like playing in my head. The way that scene was.
Maybe they'll end on that. Like the last mission going up. Like,
they totally should. That'd be awesome.
We've seen these characters before, but two characters played a pretty big role in tonight's episode, Harriet and Don. Don is the two-timing little trifling man.
Right.
And he is
poor Harriet. She is just... can't catch a break.
No,
can't catch a
Harriet
break.
got zero breaks.
Oh, no.
She is, Don is the man that Trudy and Louise went to visit because they knew something was going on.
Right.
Harriet, or their son, one of their sons has Downs maybe, and the other had cancer, I think.
Yeah.
So, obviously going through a lot. So when they visited, they realized that he had been living with this woman.
Who also has a son.
Yes, and her name is Susie Q.
Susie.
And so tonight is all about kind of what she's going to do, because I forget how it kind of like starts off with them, but clearly like things
they were fighting at the restaurant, and Deke sees it and is like, okay, we need to nip this in the bud because we don't want this getting out that an astronaut might go through a divorce, blah blah blah. And that's how
can't go into
and that's
space
how he
if
put
you're
Marge in charge.
Yeah.
Marge in charge.
Yeah.
Well, he knows how much the women kind of relate to Marge, or she can really
They listen to her.
Yeah,
That's
she can talk to him. She
speaks their language.
Right.
She had some moments tonight.
She did.
Except one in particular.
Oh yes.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. You go, girl. I see.
Marge got real saucy tonight in a good way.
Yeah, I hope you were paying attention, viewers.
So Marge does talk to Harriet, but she does it when I think they're at someone's house, maybe Joe's house, watching the Apollo 7 stuff. And she takes her outside and just says, what's going on? She's trying to fix things because she doesn't want, or she's trying to help Deke so the media doesn't get a hold of this. And I guess Trudy overhears, and so does Louise. And Louise kind of can see what Trudy's like, about to do.
We went there and we saw him with Susie, who has a son, and they're like living together.
Yeah.
But so Don like never admitted it to Harriet.
Right.
So she was like, I knew it. So that's when she learned that it was an actual thing happening.
Right. Well, she had confronted him about having affairs before, but never like any solid proof. But they straight up saw it. So when she like originally confronts Don about that, he still is like, what? No, I love you, whatever. Or that's what they said. He said. But she is, you know, she definitely wants to go through.
I tried to do it myself, but that was way better. Thank you, Alexis.
She wants to go full on through with the divorce. I mean, as she should. And this was actually, I really liked the scene with them, Marge and Harriet talking to the lawyer, because he says, you know, in order to get this, you have to prove all this junk, basically. Like, you have to prove that he was abusive and that he cheated on you.
Yeah, and that it wasn't your fault that he cheated on you.
Right, because if she did something mean to him, it would be her fault.
That was kind of out there for me. Like, how is it?
No, but that's just how it was for women. Like, divorce was not an option.
And it's the whole time, and he's like, and child support is a whole other issue.
Well, isn't it at this point the son had already passed away?
We didn't know it at this point.
We didn't know yet. Okay.
Right. So
that's kind of what, like, let's move on. Like,
So I mean, think about it. You're a woman who's dedicated your life to your husband, who has been messing around for God knows how long with this woman. And there's a scene, you know, everyone's kind of starting to worry, like, what is she going to do? There's a scene where they say Matt's funeral bills are really expensive, or health bills and cost of the funeral. So we know that her son, I think the one with cancer, died. And what is she going to do? You know, she has nothing. And she even kind of starts rethinking it, like, because she relies on him so much. I mean, obviously it's her husband. But Marge is fully on the divorce train and is like, homegirl, you can't do this. Like, he wins if you do this. So this was another good scene, but I kind of hated it at the same time. It's gut-wrenching. They are with the lawyers later, and Dawn says, you know, it's totally fine. I'll give you the divorce.
Susie wants to get married.
Yeah. I mean, what a,
and Harriet's just like, all right.
Punch,
Harriet's like, all right, let's do it for Susie.
Right. And she's like, what am I going to do? I mean, how am I going to raise these kids by myself? Deke even makes, I mean, it's a sad point, but it's a good point. When he's talking to Marge at one point, he's like, what is she going to do once they get divorced? You know, it's not just because Marge was saying it's better for NASA, it's better for the space program if they don't get a divorce, and thought that those were Deke's intentions, which they were. But it is a good point. Like, what would she do?
Yeah.
I hope she figured it
Marge,
out.
as a divorcee, she got remarried.
Right.
So she can, you know, not that that's all she has to aspire to, but
Marge was...
it's an option. Poor Harriet. I'm just trying to list out the options. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to list out Harriet's options here.
Well, Marge, you know, she was so into this tonight because of everything that she's been through.
Right.
And we didn't really know
her
exactly...
mysterious trunk of kimonos.
Right. We didn't know what really happened to her. We still don't really know what happened with the divorce. But she really related, or she really felt what Harriet was going through. And that's why she made, like, such a deal about it tonight. And, you know, obviously Deke knows about it. And some of the things that he said, I could see how she could take them as being offensive, because she's like, you know, what is she going to do, a divorcee? And she's like, I'm a divorcee and you married one. She doesn't want to feel like someone's, you know, old garbage.
Right.
And that it really is how they kind of make it out to be in this situation, because it's so on the woman for the burden of proof. But they have a moment at the end of the episode where he says, you know, you've never really talked to me about what happened. Why, or how did this whole situation become about you? And she says, I forget how she doesn't really say, like, what happened at all. She just said, you know, normal reasons, same, like, the reasons why everyone splits up, but I keep the old trunk with his name on it because it reminds me to always stand up for myself and, you know, to be tough. And clearly Marge doesn't
need a reminder.
Need that whatsoever. And Deke tells her that because she can stand on her own. She can definitely, when they're talking about how the women relate to her, and she, you know, they listen to her really well. She says, you know, the best way basically to keep your man is to not let him leave home with a full tank of gas. Yep. And then the Astronaut's Wife Club got a little frisky.
I liked it.
Yeah, Khalil liked it.
I did.
I'm sure Deke liked it too.
It was great.
What else happened with them? Anything? Deke, Marge?
She throws the...
she throws the trunk away in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Ocean.
She
That's
says,
a better word.
But she saves her kimonos.
Vista, baby.
Because you never throw away your kimonos.
Yeah, you can always use those for, like, cover-ups, you know, beachwear. You never know if they'll go to, like, a theme party or something.
Theme party.
Halloween.
Those were hers, not his. So
They go to a bridge. I'm really sad they threw a trunk away because I could have used it
as a coffee
for my
table.
apartment, but okay. No
So
big
selfish.
deal.
One man's trash.
Right. So Reen, we see so much more of her tonight, which I'm really happy about.
Girl.
She, we really started off the episode, with kind of the little montage things, but she's also on Bobby Kennedy's campaign.
Right.
And they're at a campaign, and the girls are watching her, or a campaign speech, the girls are watching her on TV.
Yeah.
Annie's there helping her all out. She really seems in the moment and to be loving it.
Yeah.
And then what happens? BK gets shot
Yeah.
and killed.
And she's really affected by it for,
Bang, bang it
obvious
in.
reasons.
Yeah. And, well, where's her husband? Oh, I guess her husband's
He's
back in the
back
Bahamas.
in the, yeah.
Or wherever
Doing
it is.
He's
deep sea.
scuba diving or whatever.
Diving.
But they hung out last week, and I thought maybe
Yeah.
we would see
They
him.
respect
But she's,
each other,
She's
according
traveling
to
the
Trudy.
world, so yeah. But Rena's really affected by this because she says, for the first time in a long time, she really felt like she was a part of something or making changes.
Yeah, I really liked what she said about it's hard to go, because they were like, well, why don't you just go back to writing your column, like blah blah. She was like, it's so hard to go back to writing about the world when I was actually shaping it. And
there you go.
Thank you, Khalil. And she had like her hands on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think, Rain has so much potential for so much.
No question.
What?
What is the difference between what Rain's doing and what Alan wants to do?
The consequences, I would say.
Oh yeah, death probably.
Yeah. No?
The risks of dying.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Ultimately it really is the same, but that's the difference.
Yeah.
His is much, he did if something bad's happening. But so, obviously, like I said, she's really affected by it. Her and Annie are on a walk, and she just, says how she can't get past it. And Annie's like, wait, girl, I had to tell the kids that he died. And we even see earlier in a scene with Gordo and Frank, another character that I think just met tonight. He's holding up in a newspaper, and it's Nixon Humphrey, and we all know how that ended.
Right.
Like this. And she, she's like, it doesn't matter, Nixon's gonna win, la 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 la. But with the next launch of Apollo 8, Dunk offers her gives her an offer that she just can't refuse.
And it was Annie's idea, which I loved.
know.
I don't know why she was faking. She should have just jumped
Yeah,
on
she was
it.
like, all right. You have to play hard to get when you're a classy lady like that.
That you do. With Apollo 8, it is the first time that we are going to leave the Earth's orbit, the Earth's gravity.
Earth.
We live on planet
We're
Earth.
gonna leave, buddy.
Earth.
This is the first time that they're going to leave the Earth's gravitational force. I said Earth.
Earth.
Just go with it. Roll with it.
Anyway,
I like it.
and we are going to orbit around the moon this time. And still not
Going to
hit
the
the
dark
moon,
side.
Just gonna go around it.
But we're going to go. So this is where Frank is going. And Gordo, earlier in the episode, says, he's like, I'm going to go on this mission. But Frank says, I think they actually want a civilian because of everything that's going on in Vietnam. And, they don't want it to be too, politically or wartime, whatever.
Right.
So it's Frank and two other cool cats. And Frank's wife is really super duper affected by this. And is just so afraid of him being, stuck in space and no one ever hearing from them again. Because whenever they enter the lunar orbit, they lose complete contact with everyone.
Yeah.
But at this point, we have the cameras. They do indeed have windows. And, so there are ways to, still see stuff. But once they hit that, it's a definite no. But she's, kind of self-medicating with some looks like vodka. But,
I don't want to, presume anything.
Right. Well, she poured it straight out of the vodka bottle.
Yeah.
So.
It was vodka. Absolutely vodka.
Dunk he's definitely aware of what is happening because, this is the first time anyone would be doing this. And so he wants it, to go off without a hitch. And he kind of seems to get a little annoyed with her sometimes. But so they launch, go up, everything's great. The offer that Dunk gave Reen was to do a live conversation with the astronauts while they were up there. Mm-hmm. So this is, taking her into a different realm. It's not print. It's, she's like a...
Broadcast.
Yeah, she's a Barbara Walters, first generation, right?
Yeah. Kinda? But it's an important job because she's communicating what's happening with
America.
With all the world, probably.
With
them Russians are watching.
Earth.
Yeah.
She's communicating with Earth.
She is the voice. She is the voice.
So they get into...
And that's a huge thing to be a woman and have that responsibility.
Exactly.
It's usually just like an old white guy.
And she says that. She says, in her broadcast, she's like, this is the first time that a man, she says... human has done this. So, she's making strides.
And she corrects it. She's like, they've done it. And then she's like, we've done it.
Exactly.
That includes her. That includes everyone.
The rocket gets across or around part of the moon. They're going over to the dark side. And that's when they lose all communication. She freaks out, obviously. I'm not sure.
Starts writing his eulogy.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
She says, if I'm going to be prepared for when he comes back, we have a party or we're going to have a funeral. So she's a little off, which I would probably be a little off.
Well, she can't sleep. She has flashes of terrible things happening to him.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody copes their own different ways, but
there you go.
She was doing the most.
Yes. So when they finally come around from the dark side of the moon to the lunar sunrise, that's when they get all the communication back. Everything's good.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. And the men, for sure my favorite part of the episode, one of my favorite scenes probably from the show, is when they say, we made it, we're good, we have something to say, and they start reading from Genesis and about how God created the heavens and the earth and let there be
I got
light.
chills in that scene. That was awesome.
And just seeing, I can't imagine the people who actually for real did this in real life, and seeing that and just like the pictures and literally being almost right on the moon. So we're not on the moon yet, but we've made it.
We're gonna get there.
Really close. We're just a stone's throw away. I feel like they could have reached their hand out and been like, "Hey, little moon,
we touched it.
So
touched the butt." Like in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
I saw the movie.
Our astro
Don't
journey.
lie, you saw the movie.
Our astro journey is almost over. Next mission is Apollo 13. I don't know if y'all seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But or just know
it.
what happens in real life. But yeah, we only have the one episode left. It's hard to predict.
It's crazy
because we know what's going to happen. But any predictions?
And now your
Should we just
AfterBuzz
predict
TV.
character-wise?
Yeah,
So we
let's do that.
All right, you start, Cleo.
He looks like he's got something marinating over there.
He's got something. It's coming to me. Wait.
I see
Dead people?
cheese.
Cheese. Cheesy craters?
Cheese.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese.
I smell.
Oh, okay. This is getting really interesting.
Mozzarella?
More cheese.
Mozzarella. Is it cheddar? Like a sharp cheddar?
Yeah.
Goat cheese.
Goat cheese. Little goat cheese and arugula.
All right. That's a great prediction. Thank you, Cleo.
Khalil, in his off time, is also a professional cheese smeller.
You heard it here
You heard it
first.
here first.
AfterBuzz exclusive.
Remember this?
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You are ridiculous.
All right, so we predict
any other
cheese.
We predict cheese.
Cheese.
All right.
So Alan gets the surgery. Do we think he'll go up? But does he live or die?
I don't think he's going to go up because
I think he's going to live, though.
I think he'll live. I don't think he's going up, though, because what if, they really do have to choose, the healthiest person.
Yeah,
and
that's a lot of money.
Even if the surgery corrects it, what if it comes
But
back
they
while he's
also
in
can't
space?
afford to have him die up there. You know what I mean?
Right. And so that's what they're going to choose someone who's perfectly healthy.
He should have gotten it cleared with them, with NASA, before he went ahead with the surgery.
And maybe he did, and they're just not showing us that, because I feel like that's a pretty huge
step, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
show me a soda.
There are still so many storylines that kind of have to wrap. I mean, I feel like we're done with Marge and Deke's storyline.
Done with Joe and Wally.
Done with Betty. I don't think we'll really hear more from Annie and John, because John is, helping with campaign stuff.
Yeah.
Their story doesn't really have an end because they're just perfect. And I guess it's probably going to be focused where we started. Probably Louise and Alan the most.
That's where the cheese comes in, I think.
Trudy, I hope, and Trudy and Gordo.
Yeah.
Because, are they in love?
We haven't seen much of them.
Yeah. The Trudy Show spinoff.
Yeah. I like that.
The Trudy Show. And more about Reed.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
I think just finalizations.
Woo!
I'm excited. Anything we missed tonight?
I can tell.
Yes.
No, I think that's it.
Cool.
Great.
Well,
Great
tell
episode.
everyone where they can find y'all.
All right.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. You already know what to do. It's your boy Khalil Boo Boo. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram.
I need one of those.
I'm not quite a rap. Actually, no, I'm a really good rapper.
I'm Sterling Cates. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and now Periscope at Sterling Cates. You talked over my handle. It's at Sterling Cates.
At Sterling Cates. Follow her and then follow me. And please follow me, because she's the only one who follows me. So it'd be nice if I
he needs some heart.
And somebody else watched it besides Sterling.
Yeah.
Well, nothing rhymes with Wissenhant, so I can't really create a rap. But yo.
Wissenhant. No, you can't.
Yes, you can. If you in the sand. Yeah. Y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at April Wissenhant. You can find all of us at AfterBuzz TV. Can't wait to see y'all next week for the finale.
Woo woo.
Woo.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.